Hello everyone. So today I'm going to talk about one of the unstructured data analysis method, which is sentiment analysis. So sentiment analysis is a technique of analyzing unstructured data into a sentiment polarization. So polarization means dividing a bunches of text or a block of text, which is a form of unstructured data, into positive, negative, and neutral sentiments. So it's a word extraction based method. So each word in a bunches of text or block of text is given either a positive, negative, or neutral tone, and based on that, it gives a score. If it's a positively toned word, it gives a score of +1. If it's a neutral word, it gives a score of 0, and if it's a negative word, it gives a score of -1. Now, Excel has word extraction based sentiment analysis method based on machine learning, Azure machine learning, which I used to teach my students in like last couple of years. But now I see based on Excel. But now I see Excel does not allow using this Azure machine learning tool. So, but otherwise, it's a very simple technique. So if you have a column of textual data, say social media posts or online reviews, and you can but very simply set up the Azure Machine Learning in Excel to run the sentiment analysis with like a few item manipulation and clicks, and it gives you the sentiment score, like whether the bunches of text is positive has positive sentiment, negative sentiment, or neutral sentiment. Also, a sentiment score from 0 to 1. A score which is closer to 1 that has positive sentiment. A score which is closer to 0.5, it has a neutral like sentiment. A score which has close to 0 sentiment score, that's considered as a negative sentiment text. And then you can use the sentiment score further for some predictive models, say for example in regression analysis or so. So now sentiment analysis, as we said, is one of the just method of unstructured data analysis. Similarly, since most of the data now we generate in our everyday life with different interactions of different digital devices, say for example, wristwatch, smartphones, GPS, or um, laptops and computers and different wearables also, right? So we generate millions and millions of terabytes of data every minutes of every day. So that is called big data. So these big data can answer the question of what mostly, like what is the effect of, like say for example, advertising expenditures on revenue or sales. So if you have data with columns and rows, you can run this analysis to answer the what question. What is the most favorite brands? If you conduct a survey, right? If you ask a question, what is the most favorite brand, and if you give them 4 or 5 brands in a particular industry, right? So you can later use this information, right, in subsequent more like a statistical, like descriptive or inferential statistical analysis. But what about if you're dealing with bunches of text, audios, images, and videos data? Then you have to rely on qualitative data analysis techniques, which are called thick data. Especially if you would like to answer the why and how questions of why consumers behave in this way, why customer buy this brand versus other brand. If you would like to answer this question, then you have to rely on some open-ended questions in a survey. Um, Most of the other examples of unstructured data are, say, for example, every day we generate millions and millions of emails per minute of a day, right? All of those are examples of unstructured data formats. So some of the techniques of unstructured data analysis are sentiment analysis, thematic analysis to figure out what themes, say, for example, in social media, like people and like talk about a lot of events, current political, non-political, and brand-related events. If you'd like to see what themes or topics is being discussed about your brand in a particular social media, say TikTok, Facebook, or Instagram, you can like download a range of the social media posts for a particular date range or so, and then you can do sentiment analysis and thematic analysis to understand like unstructured information like opinions, ideas, experiences, or expressions about your products or brand. So these are some examples of like unstructured data analysis that I wanted to share with you guys. I hope it helps. Thank you so much for watching.